Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video for you guys. This is my client Elizabeth. She comes to me roughly every several weeks. I would say every like 6 to 7. She tries to do 6 and we do gray coverage retouch on her with Xoxoxo Age Defy 7NN. I have switched over with permanent color to Agora Royale, just dabbling in different things, and Agora Royale covers so well. As you guys can see, she's literally like almost 100% white. The whiter the hair, the more resistant it is to take color, and it's a mess. But Xoxoxo does cover pretty well for her, but it doesn't cover well for everybody. It depends on the person, varies person to person. But I intended to shoot this tutorial today for you guys because I wanted to do a paint between video showing you guys how I love to touch up on the gray coverage. However, I did end up losing the footage of the permanent paint between, which is the whole point of this video. And it was because my camera was literally about to die, and it died as it was recording that clip. So when I went on and I uploaded all the footage, that clip was not on my memory card. So it obviously disappeared because it was dying, and it's not on there. Usually the other cameras, the Sony cameras, they will continue from wherever it died and have whatever before that on the memory card, but this one did not. So I'm just going to make the best of the situation. I do have a little clip I took on my iPhone after I applied it, so you guys can see, but that's my way of doing it when it comes to highlighting somebody and adding either gray coverage, or if they want a root smudge, I'll go in and do a paint between as well. It's better to do it that way than the old school way of applying the color all over, letting it process, washing, blow drying, then going in and highlighting over top of that permanent color, because then it's not going to lift as well as it could have. Okay, so I'm going in. We're using Xoxoxo Blonde Life with 20 volume and a 16th ounce of Olaplex, my ride or die go-to, you guys know that. And I'm really focusing on that root area of her new growth, and where we have about that 2 or 2.5, 3 inches of permanent color from touching it up the last several months. And I like doing this for girls who do want to have a permanent color and not do highlights all the time, especially if they don't want to blend the highlights into the gray, which I prefer to do that way. I am not a fan of permanent color, you guys. So if you've been following me for a long time and you're an OG Brett Ryan supporter, then you know I am not a fan of permanent color at all. But I do find that if they're doing great coverage, it does lift pretty well. I think it's because there's no pigment in the hair. It's not like we have pigment, we're doing a permanent color, then trying to kick through it later on. It's like kicking through as if it was virgin hair. So I let it set a little longer than normal, and it ends up being okay. All right, so I'm working my way up on a slight diagonal. I like to show a little bit of dimension for her because we are doing baby lights back to back to back to back with my Sinful technique. And I told you guys in a previous video, I like leaving them a little bit more spaced out in the interior and doing them always a little bit closer around the hairline, so it really does give that pop. You'll see that in the end result. But I'm not really, overlapping too much. It's just feathering down a drier brush because we need to pop open that cuticle a little bit. Because what I find is what happens if you don't every now and then, it will end up looking dingier and a little bit brassier towards those ends. You'll see at the end by feathering down like I'm doing, it literally pops it open enough, even though I'm kicking the very ends out, where it actually allows the toner to take very well and even and looks really good from roots to ends. All right, I'm going to slow this down real quick. This is a little bit of footage I got after with my iPhone when she was processing for Instagram. You see I did the paint between, and what can happen? I wanted to talk about this. You can get splotchiness. If a little bit of permanent color touches any of those blonde ends, it's going to slurp it right up, and you got to make sure you're careful. You can either put Olaplex number 2 or a conditioning mask on the ends before you start. Or you can go in like I did. As you see, the ends look like they're balayaged. I took whatever was left of some of the lightener that was sitting for a while when I finished all the foil work, and I go in and I apply it like a balayage, and I comb through with my wet brush. Breaks it up, but it allows it to literally knock out anything that was on there, and you'll see at the end, it's beautiful. I also want to make note for you guys that when you're doing a paint between, especially with a permanent color, it is so important to actually, mess those foils up a little bit. Don't make them slip or anything like that, but you got to make sure you're bending them back, going around the hairline, pushing them out of the way from the front to back, getting in between where the foils separate from the back sections to the front, and take your brush and just swipe back and forth, because nothing is worse than doing all that work and then when you blow dry and your client sees 2 or 3 little grays that did not get covered. You have to make sure you're going in there and doing that. It is very, very crucial. I'm really going to make another video and attempt this again to show you guys how I do it, because I have tweaked and changed some things over the last several years, and I haven't done a video on this in a while. So I let her process for about an hour, and now we are ready to mix up those toners. I'm going to root shadow her using one of my favorite formulas ever as a root shadow, which is Global Colorants, 7N, 7NA equal parts. And I'm going to go in with her global toner using Reckon Shades EQ, 10GI, 10NB, and 10P for that perfect sandy, creamy blonde. As you see now, I'm working my way through her hair, laying her down at the bowl, have Olaplex number 2 on the mids and ends as a barrier and a treatment. Kills 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'm going in and shadowing her slightly. Nothing too major, just making sure everything connects and meshes well together, especially since we did the paint between with a level 7. And I'm going to continue to do this, and then we'll tone her all over. Keep watching. All right, guys, this is the final result inside. I'll show you the ring light in a minute. It's gorgeous. So we broke that root up. We actually just did a little bit extra curtain bangs, made them a little shorter. This tone is everything, like even in here. I did Joico 20 volume, as you guys seen. Blonde Life Lightener. We did feather down a little bit, but not really overlapping. And my little tip and trick I taught you guys about how if you see any splotchiness from any permanent color that might have hit any blonde, just throwing that on the dropouts and then just combing through it will be a way to eliminate it without causing too much damage. But there's no spottiness. It's beautiful, you guys. I toned her with 10 GI, 10 NB, and a little bit of 10P. We like that sandy, creamy blonde, and it's just gorgeous. And I also did 7N, 7NA, Global Colorants for her root shadow. Let me know what you guys think. I love you so much. I'll show you guys as I show the end of the video in the ring light, so you can see in this light and then the ring light, but we are obsessed, and this is gonna last for weeks and weeks and months and months. And then she just comes in and does 7NN with Joico Age Defy every like couple weeks, like Wet Love every several weeks. And she just does the gray coverage, and then we won't have to highlight it again for a while. Let me know what you guys think. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. As always, so long for now, guys.